being raised about the effectiveness of the National Youth Development Agency. And this time owing to the much publicized interview process for the shortlisted candidates for the NYDA board. And Newzroom Afrika's Juniour Khumalo joins us now from Luthuli House. Juniour, good morning. Just tell us why you're there, but also the fact that there was a great deal of contestation for ascension to that board, and some of those candidates come from the ANC's own ANC Youth League.
Indeed, Iman, there were about 1,400 individuals that were actually shortlisted for the board of the NYDA, and only 20 were shortlisted, and some of those individuals, as has become the case over the past few years, come from the ANC. In 2023, we heard the Democratic Alliance calling for the scrapping of the NYDA because they were saying it is now a place where ANC Youth League leaders are basically given jobs and they get a salary there. So concerns around that in 2009, when this entity was actually put together by former President Jacob Zuma, it was meant to advocate for young people in South Africa. Young people make up about 34% of South Africa, so they needed a body that would advocate for the issues affecting them. Just a few moments ago, you were speaking to Veronica about funding for higher education for young people, which has become a crisis in South Africa. There are issues around teenage pregnancies, and then also unemployment rate amongst young people currently stands between 45% and 46%, meaning that almost 50% of young people who can be employed are not employed in South Africa. So there has been that challenge and the need to capacitate this agency. But we saw yesterday when those interviews were happening, the people that are shortlisted, concerns around whether they are competent to hold these positions or whether they even have the right qualifications to hold these positions. But let's take a listen to some of those interactions when those interviews were taking place, Iman.
Now, it would have made sense to me if you had completed your diploma in 2011, but you have since clarified it to us that you in fact completed it in 2021. So it means you would have been a senior researcher for 5 years without a post-matric qualification. My question to you is, if we were to appoint you, recommend you, and the president were to appoint you to lead the NYDA, would you appoint or employ someone without a post-matric qualification to be a senior researcher in any process or department within the National Youth Development Agency? Because you were a senior researcher and earned a senior researcher salary for 5 years without a post-matric qualification. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. No, I think I would not do that. Maybe I must maybe the question should have been, what is the circumstance that led to that? Because I did not apply for a post of senior researcher. Because the problem, I had to put the CV accurately to the fact of the positions I occupied. Because I didn't want to mislead anybody. Now, what would have happened in the instance, I never applied to be a senior researcher chair. I applied to be a PA and working in the office of the chief whip in the municipality there. Now, because I was deployed in a political office, there was movement. They just placed me as a senior researcher. I could not say no.
In as far as NYDA must fulfill its objectives, right?
Yes.
Youth development, the things that you would have mentioned here.
Yes.
Now, there's the NYDA Act, and then there's the legal framework of the NYDA Act. I want to know if you understand the relationship between those two, and if you can give me some practical example, even one, that demonstrates to us and the people of South Africa that you'll be serving, that you understand this relationship.
Okay. Okay, so from as NYDA is mandated to obviously do the youth development, for me to answer this question, I am going to use that example of the rural being integrated into the okay, so the framework essentially is the skeleton. And then from the act itself, it's the policy, the legal framework will be.
Very painful to watch there, Iman, when those individuals were being interviewed. Some of them, the last person, Malusi Masilela, you could tell he was struggling to answer even the basic questions that were being asked to him. The first person, Zuelo Masilela as well, questions around his qualifications and whether he can take up such a critical position, especially given the challenges that a lot of young people are facing and the role that he would have to play for the NYDA, Iman.
Thank you very much.